right. Let's see. Oh boy, it's Friday. We made it to Friday, folks. This is your one and only source for hyper-local news in the Linglestown area, Central Dauphin School District, and Lower Paxton, the 17th largest municipality in Pennsylvania, which has over 2,500 municipalities. We have too much government in Pennsylvania, don't you think? Yeah, we do. This is your host, Bill Bostic, reporting live from the Linglestown Gazette studios in Ubana Gardens section of Linglestown. Enough of that already. Enough of that. Turn that off. All right, well, good morning, one and all. I have a big show for you today. Let's make a deal Friday. That's what we have today. Let's make a deal Friday. We'll get into that in just a second. First, though, let me see here. I want to have a little bit of fun, folks. Just a little bit of fun. We got some breaking news here, and I'm trying to dial up the sound effects. Breaking news. I don't think I'm going to be able to figure it out here. Something's changed. I don't have the sound effect for that. But anyways, the big news today on the fun side is the West Shore Theater over in New Cumberland has new owners. It had gone dark at some point in the not too distant past, but someone is resurrecting the West Shore Theater. Now, again, I know that's on the other side of the river, but it is an old style movie theater and a fun place to go and watch films. So we'll be monitoring what's happening at the West Shore Theater. And then, excuse me, just by the way, this fine internet broadcast, you can equate it to pirate radio. You know what pirate radio is? That's whenever people would put ships out in the ocean just beyond the country's border, whatever it may be, U.S., United Kingdom, whatever. They put ships out in the sea and they broadcast into the land illegally. And that's what, this isn't illegal, but it's pirate radio type of thing because it's not regulated. I can say whatever I want and all that kind of thing. Anyways, this fine internet news broadcast is brought to you by Consolidated Insurance Services. David Jones is at the helm. And it's not the Davy Jones from the Monkees. This is somebody else. This is an insurance expert who has access to auto, life, home, and business insurance products from Erie Insurance. That's their primary carrier, but they do have other things. Look for them at 6109 Jonestown Road. That's the road behind the Carnes Food Store along Route 22, Allentown Boulevard. Behind there is Jonestown Road. That's where you find them. Again, let's make a deal Friday. We're going to be getting into that in just a moment. And a couple quick updates. First, your weather brought to you by The Fat Man Clothing Company, headed up by Anthony Cristillo over there in Colonial Park. At the Gazette Studios, it's 32 degrees, according to our weather station, hooked into weatherunderground.com. And today, looks like we might have some snow showers, although it doesn't look like it now here at the studio. A high of 41 degrees. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So it's going to be whipping up a little bit out there tonight. Clear, low of 26. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 44. And there's your morning weather check at 8:20 a.m. Thank you very much. We'll move on from there. A couple of sports notes. Let's just do, I've got to have bumper music. Bumper music's fun. That's what it's all about, having fun, right? And can I find the bumper music? Yes, there it is. Welcome aboard, Tim McCarthy. over there in Hecton. Welcome to you. Oh, we just have a few more seconds, and we'll get into the sports. Thank you very much. And on the sports team, we have two things. We have, as best I can tell, we have 3 Central Dauphin Rams that are still in the state individual wrestling tournament happening right now at the Giant Center in Derry Township, also known as Hershey. And the latest article put out by my buddy over at PennLive.com, Dustin Hockensmith. Thank God for Dustin, because if I had a report on wrestling, you would not know too much about wrestling. It's just 2 guys rolling around on a mat as far as I'm concerned. But it's a great sport. Many people love it. And we have Central Dauphin's senior Mitchell Talbot making some noise in the 195-pound class. A little bit of an unexpected development there for Mitchell, but he's been working hard apparently. So hard, he's having a hard time keeping his weight on. So Mitchell Talbot he's being joined by, I guess, 2 wrestlers that are notable in the region. You know, Mitchell's coming out of nowhere, so to speak, but we have 2 gigantically large and looming threats in this tournament. Seniors Chris Wright and Andrew Wirt. So Wright, Wirt, and Talbot. Keep an eye on them. We'll keep an eye on them over the weekend with the help of Dustin Hockensmith. Thank you, Dustin. And then on something that I can relate to, tonight is the big night whenever the Central Dauphin Rams, the Lady Rams, are in action over at East Pennsboro High School in the fine borough of Enola. 8 p.m. That's 8 o'clock tip-off. Over at the school, $6 to get in as far as I know. A great night of entertainment. They have 3 games starting at 5 o'clock type of thing. And so we'll see what happens with the Lady Rams. Again, if they win, I am one step closer to climbing a pole when this team wins if the team wins the state championship. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be talking to Central Dauphin Athletic Director Chris. Help me out, Joe. I can't think of his name right. Oh man, anyways, athletic director out there about getting permission to climb a pole in the parking lot at Central Dauphin High School. All right, that's my tentative plan. Sorry, Chris, about not remembering your name. I just can't pull it out of my brain at the moment. And by the way, we will be having a special guest analyst. Yes, Chris Hunter. Sorry, Mr. Hunter. Thank you, Joe. Joe Gilloway, listening. Our crack sports director, the authority on all things scholastic basketball in Central Pennsylvania. Write it down. It's true. Alexis Hartwick will be joining us tonight as we broadcast from East Pennsboro High School gym. Alexis was a Central Dauphin Lady Ram just a few years ago, and now is playing for the University of Pittsburgh Johnstown campus. Division II ball. Great player. And just to give you a preview of next week, before we get into the Let's Make a Deal portion of our show, last night there was a meeting, and I should dial this up here. Let's just do it right, would you? I mean, you got to do this right. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right. Let the watchdog out. I'm not going to get into this big time. Oh, man. Get out of here. I mean, I definitely need... Joe, help me find a new dog, would you? This guy is terrible. He's too loud. He's too mean. I'm not a mean old watchdog. I just try to watch. That's what I try to do. Last night there was a meeting, a public hearing actually, put on by the Lower Paxton Township Planning Commission. 30 people, by my count, attended, and that's plus another 7, 8 people up at the podium. So, well-attended public hearing on the township's comprehensive plan. Just an editorial comment. I mean, I think if you're a citizen of Lower Paxton Township, you owe a gratitude, a bit of. I can't. My brain's not working well right now. You owe some gratitude to the Planning Commission members. These are volunteers. They're appointed volunteers headed up by Mr. Fred Leighty. They've been working for about a year, holding an additional meeting every month, trying to revise our comprehensive plan, which primarily sets out the land use for our township over the next decade, plus many, many other things. And, my quick review of the executive summary last night, very, very pleased with what they have in there, especially about Linglestown. And I'll be reporting on in more depth about that next week. And also, just want to note, given the school shootings, especially down in Florida with the 17 people who were killed and all the aftermath, including impacts here locally, Eric Epstein, who is the vice chairman of the Central Dauphin School Board, was there to speak about the comprehensive plan. He is a citizen of of Lower Paxton Township, but within his comments, he did make note that the school board unanimously approved a resolution recently to expend up to $8 million for a prioritized list of security enhancements. So last week, I had guests on. We talked about the procedures that are in place. The school district is looking to spend up to $8 million to provide security enhancements. So we'll be doing some reporting on that eventually here as well. If you look on Linglestown Gazette's Facebook page and website, you'll see that we have a profile written by a reader about a longtime barber in Linglestown. And we'll be having a public safety tip offered by my friend, pal, and Linglestown Gazette reader and viewer, Scott Silverstein. Scott has gotten the bug about riding bicycles, and he has a great safety tip that's going to be showing up later today. And if I get around to it, our mystery lifestyle writer has another column that I need to get out. And so there's going to be plenty of things happening around Linglestown Gazette, including our reporting on the Central Dauphin Lady Ram. So that enough of all that. Okay, let's move into the main topic. Let's make a deal. And we have, let me just see what we're at time-wise here. Excuse me. About 5 minutes or so. Okay. What this is all about, let's make a deal, is that I want to give you a quick update on what's happening with Linglestown Gazette. Many people are consuming this and have no idea where in the heck this is coming from, what it's all about. I've been at this off and on since 2006. This is my third attempt to try and bring hyperlocal news to our community. And in this particular effort, I got some pro bono help by an accountant by the name of AJ Granito. AJ was a former Linglestown Sandlot baseball player that I got to know a few years ago, and he graciously offered to help me start a nonprofit. It's called COM, C-O-M for communication, and then News, COM News Inc. And I'm still awaiting approval from the IRS to be a charitable organization. And I believe that that particular thing, getting that charitable organization status, is going to be a key for this service to continue. Because I think it's going to open up the doors to some bigger corporate sponsors. When you're not if you're set up as a for-profit, or you don't have that 501c3 designation, many businesses will not talk to you. So that's a big, big problem. The IRS is taking far too long to make a decision. It's been well over 100 days, and they haven't assigned the application to anyone within the IRS employment. So that's a big problem. I'm a year into it, and honestly, folks, I'm starting to get a little weary on the edges. I'm okay, but in the past, I've burned out twice already, and I don't want to burn out a third time, because I think this kind of service is too important for our community. We need a local news source somehow, some way. Penn Live is trying to get back into it a little bit. I am working with them, but again, it's just in a very, very minor way. We need more in-depth coverage. There's a lot of things happening in Lower Paxton Township, as well as Central Dauphin School District, and then everything else going on in our community. We are a small city planted on planted across, former farm fields, right? And no news source has picked up and actually done anything with it. So Linglestown Gazette is that attempt. Now, how can you help out? Well, one, I'll provide a link. I have about a dozen people or so who signed up as patrons. And I've had different things on there where you become a patron. It's one of those, things where you just go out on the internet and make a couple clicks, and you can start to contribute. My suggestion is $5 a month. If you want to do less, that's fine. If you want to do more, that's great. But I really would like to get enough patrons to at least pay the rent for the office. Right now, it's about just over $100 a month is coming in. I would like to get at least $200 so the rent's taken care of. So if you watch this stuff and you enjoy it, consider becoming a patron. So I'll have a link in the show notes about that. The other thing is, as far as patronage, I would like to have, one of the things I found, I had a intern from Harrisburg Christian School back in January. And that particular week, without a doubt, was the best week ever when it came to doing Linglestown Gazette and being a little bit more productive. Having that extra hand around, even though the student was brand new to journalism. He did everything I asked, tried things he was uncomfortable doing, wrote at least I think one article, maybe two. And having that intern was just a godsend at that particular time. And I would like to have at least one paid intern this summer, if not two. And that's only going to happen if folks in the community jump on board and become patrons. Like I said, I'd like to get enough for the rent, but also I'd like to get another little pad there to pay out to student interns and get them involved in modern, journalism, how it's going to be done, and get them involved, and get some extra help and help students get into a potential career. And then lastly, so let's make a deal. Let's make a deal by having you consider becoming a patron. And there's a part two to Let's Make a Deal. I'll do this very quickly. I do have that relationship with Penn Live right at the moment. And that relationship is to keep an eye on Lower Paxton Township, Susquehanna Township, Swatara Township, Derry Township, and if I choose to, West Hanover Township. That's 5 municipalities. Keep track of what's going on, along with the 3 school districts: Derry Township School District, Central Dauphin School District, Susquehanna Township School District. Even just to keep track of it, that's a big job. I have one person helping out. So part of the money coming in from the Patriot News is going right back out to that person to help keep track of, help me with Lower Paxton and Susquehanna Township. But I have all that other stuff to do. Every time I write an article, and I've written 2 so far for the Patriot News, $50 comes into the kitty. That's how it works. What I'm willing to do is bring on 1, maybe 2 other people to help out. And again, that money that comes in for me writing stories will go right back out for people to help pull this information together. The Patriot News has a limited budget for this kind of thing, and it's not going to change my life. It's more important that we build a network of people in the community keeping tabs on our government, and we do the reporting. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to get involved, just contact me. I'm all over the place. Direct message me on Facebook at Linglestown Gazette. Send me an email. Track me down at the coffee shop, St. Thomas Roasters, whatever it may be. Let's make a deal to try and keep this service running. And the last thing I'll say is, when it comes to money, it is going to be a nonprofit. So what comes in goes right back out in services. And there's a great mission here. The mission is to keep you, the citizens of Lower Paxton Township and Central Dauphin School District, up to speed on what's going on, right? You need to know what's happening in your backyard. That's the mission. But without money, there is no mission. So that's the Let's Make a Deal Friday, okay? Please help out if you can. If you can't, no problem. But if you're able, you have a few extra bucks, see if you can help keep this service moving forward, especially during this interim period where we do not have the 501c3 designation from the IRS as they drag their feet on that application that was submitted. So with that, let's strike up the bumper music. Here we go, folks. Look out. Another week is in the books here at the Gazette Morning Update. Brought to you by Consolidated Insurance Services. Thank you so much, David Jones, for being an early supporter. This is Bill Bostic signing off. We'll see you on Monday. Go, Lady Rams! All right. Where's that? Nice. I can't find it. There we go.